Trauma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it hides in silence, in the fake smile you wear, in the way you say, "I'm fine," or in the habit of working until you break. That's trauma, disguised as your everyday life. Most people think trauma looks dramatic. Tears, panic attacks, emotional breakdowns. But the truth is, trauma can live quietly inside you, shaping every word, every choice, every reaction, without you ever realizing it. It shows up in the way you overthink, the way you say sorry too much, or how you can't sit still when things finally get calm. These are not random habits. They are survival strategies your mind once created and never learned to turn off. In this video, we're going to uncover 10 silent trauma responses that might be running your life without you knowing. And once you start seeing them, you'll never see yourself the same way again. 1. Apologizing for everything. You say sorry, even when you've done nothing wrong. Sorry for asking. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry for being late. It sounds polite, but deep down, it's fear talking. Fear that your presence might upset someone. Fear that you'll lose love if you take up too much space. What if I told you that saying sorry too often isn't humility, it's survival? Many people who grew up walking on eggshells learned that the safest way to stay loved was to shrink, to apologize before anyone could get angry, to make themselves small enough to be accepted. In adulthood, this habit doesn't make people love you more. It just teaches your brain that you don't deserve to exist freely. The healing begins when you replace "I'm sorry" with "thank you for waiting," or simply silence. Because sometimes, confidence sounds like not apologizing at all. 2. People-pleasing. You say yes when every part of you wants to say no. You overextend, over-deliver, and then lie awake at night wondering why you feel so empty. People call you kind, but it doesn't feel like kindness when it drains you. What if your need to keep everyone happy is really your way of keeping yourself safe? As a child, maybe love only came when you were useful, when you fixed things, made others smile, or stayed quiet. So your nervous system learned that peace equals pleasing. In adulthood, people-pleasing becomes emotional armor. It protects you from rejection, but also keeps you from real connection. You attract people who love the version of you that never disagrees, not the real you. Healing starts the day you let someone be disappointed and realize you survived. That moment, that's freedom, disguised as guilt. 3. Avoidance. You keep putting things off. That phone call, that conversation, that dream you said you'd start one day. You scroll instead. You clean. You distract. You tell yourself you're tired. But deep down, you're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding the feeling. What if procrastination isn't laziness, but self-protection? When your brain once linked effort with pain, maybe criticism, maybe failure, maybe shame, it now shuts down to keep you safe. So you freeze. You delay. You ghost things that matter. Avoidance is how trauma traps time. It keeps your future hostage to your past, convincing you that doing nothing is safer than being seen. The way out isn't forcing productivity. It's gently proving to your body that trying again doesn't equal danger. Start small. One call, one step. Healing isn't about moving fast. It's about moving without fear. 4. Hyper-independence. You've heard yourself say it. I don't need anyone. You fix your own problems, carry your own pain, and call it strength. But when help shows up, something inside you tightens, because accepting it feels dangerous. What if your independence isn't strength, but fear in disguise? For many survivors, needing someone once led to disappointment, neglect, or betrayal. So the brain made a vow: never again. It confused isolation with safety, and self-reliance with power. True independence means choosing connection, not avoiding it. Hyper-independence turns survival into a cage, one that looks like control but feels like loneliness. Healing begins when you ask for help and your world doesn't fall apart. When you realize letting someone in isn't weakness, it's retraining your nervous system to trust again. Because strength isn't doing it all alone. It's knowing you don't have to. 5. Overthinking. You replay the same moment 100 times. What you said, what they meant, what you should have done. You analyze until your chest tightens, and yet you call it being careful. But overthinking isn't awareness. It's anxiety in disguise. What if your brain keeps thinking because it never learned how to feel safe? When you grow up in chaos, the mind becomes a detective, scanning every detail, trying to predict danger before it happens. It's exhausting, but it once kept you alive. Overthinking isn't about control. It's about fear of the unknown. Your nervous system equates stillness with threat, so silence feels unbearable. Healing starts when you remind yourself, not every unanswered text is rejection. Not every quiet moment is danger. You don't have to solve every scenario in your head. You just have to breathe through the one that's real. 6. Perfectionism. You triple-check every email, rewrite every sentence, chase every flaw until you're exhausted. People call you high-achieving, but inside you're terrified of one thing: being seen as not enough. What if your perfectionism isn't ambition, but an apology for existing? When you were praised only for performance, not for presence, your worth became conditional. You learned that love had to be earned, through grades, achievements, or flawless behavior. So, now, mistakes don't feel like learning. They feel like failure of identity. Perfectionism is a trauma response dressed in productivity. It tells your nervous system, if I'm perfect, no one can hurt me again. But the truth, perfection doesn't protect you. It isolates you. Healing begins when you let something be good enough and resist fixing it. Because peace doesn't come from doing more. It comes from believing you're already enough. 7. Emotional numbing. You don't cry anymore. Not because you're strong, but because the tears just don't come. Happiness feels distant, sadness feels muted, and sometimes you wonder if you're even capable of feeling at all. What if emotional numbness isn't the absence of feeling, but the overflow of it? When pain once became too much to bear, your brain did what it had to. It turned the volume down. It protected you by freezing your emotions, not to punish you, but to help you survive. The problem is, your brain doesn't know when it's safe to feel again, so it keeps you disconnected from others and from yourself. Healing begins the moment you allow yourself to feel anything, even small. A lump in your throat, a sigh, a song that makes you tear up. Feeling again isn't weakness. It's your body whispering, "We made it. You're safe now." 8. Hypervigilance. You can't relax, even in peace. Every sound, every silence, every look feels like a signal. You notice shifts in tone, tiny pauses, invisible changes in energy. People call it intuition, but deep down, it feels like tension. What if your sixth sense isn't intuition? It's survival mode stuck on high alert. When you grew up in uncertainty, your body became a radar for danger. You learned to read faces, voices, footsteps, anything that could warn you before the storm hit. It worked then, but now it won't turn off. Hypervigilance convinces you that safety is a myth, that calm is just the pause before chaos. So you stay ready, scanning for pain that might never come. Healing begins when you teach your body the difference between then and now. When you remind yourself, this silence isn't danger, it's peace. 9. Self-sabotage. You finally get the job, the love, the chance you always wanted. And somehow, you ruin it. You're late. You pull away. You say things you don't mean. Then you call it bad luck. But a quiet part of you knows, it's not luck at all. What if you're not afraid of failing? You're afraid of feeling worthy. For people who grew up believing good things don't last, success feels unsafe. Joy feels foreign. Stability feels suspicious. So the brain finds comfort in chaos, because chaos is familiar. Self-sabotage isn't about hating yourself. It's about staying in control of the pain you expect. If you cause the fall, at least it's not a surprise. Healing begins when you stop expecting disaster and start tolerating calm, because sometimes peace isn't boring. It's proof you've finally broken the pattern. 10. The fixer. You're always the strong one, the helper, the one people call when their world is falling apart. You listen, comfort, and hold everyone together. But when you're the one breaking, there's no one left to call. What if fixing others is just your way of avoiding your own pain? Somewhere along the way, you learned that your value lies in being useful. That love comes from saving people, not from simply being you. So you chase broken things because they make you feel needed. But slowly, you disappear under the weight of everyone else's healing. Being the fixer is how trauma teaches you to earn belonging, through over-responsibility. Yet true connection doesn't need rescuing, it needs honesty. Healing begins when you stop managing everyone's pain and start acknowledging your own. Because sometimes, the hardest person to save is the one who keeps saving others. Trauma doesn't always come with bruises or broken hearts. Sometimes it lives in habits that once protected you, but now quietly hold you back. Saying sorry too much, always pleasing, avoiding what scares you, refusing help, thinking too much, chasing perfection, feeling nothing, staying alert, destroying good things, fixing everyone else. None of these make you weak, they make you human. Each one was your brain's way of saying, I just want to feel safe. But healing doesn't mean erasing these parts. It means understanding them. You don't have to fight your old defenses. You just have to thank them and gently let them rest. Because safety isn't found in control. It's found in awareness. The more you recognize your trauma responses, the less they control you. And one day, you'll look at the habits that once ruled your life and say, you kept me alive, but I'm ready to live now. If any part of this video made you pause, that's where your healing begins. Don't rush to fix everything. Just notice. Notice when you apologize too fast, when you overthink, when you can't rest. That awareness alone is already change. I'd love to know, which of these trauma responses felt closest to your story? Drop it in the comments. Your words might help someone else realize they're not alone. And if you want to keep going on this journey, make sure to subscribe, because in the next video we'll talk about 10 signs you're healing without realizing it. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You're not broken. You're just finally learning what safety feels like.